The 2008 Sichuan earthquake, also known as the Sichuan Earthquake, was a devastating earthquake that struck the Sichuan province in southwest China on May 12, 2008. It was one of the most powerful and destructive earthquakes in China's recent history, causing massive loss of life and widespread damage. The earthquake struck at 2:28 p.m. local time on May 12, 2008. It had a magnitude of 7.9 on the Richter scale, making it a very powerful earthquake. The epicenter was located near the town of Wenchuan, approximately 80 kilometers (50 miles) northwest of Chengdu, the capital of Sichuan. The earthquake had a relatively shallow depth of about 19 kilometers (12 miles), which contributed to its strength and the extensive damage. The earthquake was caused by tectonic plate movements in the region, particularly the interaction between the Indian plate and the Eurasian plate. These plates collide in southwest China, creating frequent seismic activity. The area around Sichuan lies along the Longmen-Shan fault zone, which is known for its seismic activity. The earthquake caused widespread devastation throughout Sichuan, particularly in the Wenchuan area and nearby towns. Tens of thousands of buildings collapsed, including schools, homes, hospitals, and bridges. The destruction was extensive, and the epicenter was in a mountainous region, which made rescue operations particularly challenging. More than 87,000 people were killed, including thousands of children trapped in collapsed schools. Over 374,000 people were injured, and more than 4.8 million people were left homeless due to the destruction. The Chinese government quickly mobilized rescue teams to search for survivors, often under the rubble of collapsed buildings. International aid poured in, including medical assistance, food, and financial support. Countries from around the world sent humanitarian aid, including medical teams, food, and money to support the efforts. The Chinese government deployed tens of thousands of military and civilian rescue workers, and the search for survivors continued for weeks after the earthquake. Reconstruction of the affected areas took years. Many cities, towns, and infrastructures had to be rebuilt from scratch. In the days following the main earthquake, there were numerous aftershocks that further damaged structures and hindered recovery efforts. One of the consequences of the earthquake was the formation of a landslide-induced dam at the Tangjiashan Lake, caused by debris and rockfalls. This created a threat of a dam collapse, which could have led to a second disaster. Fortunately, authorities were able to manage the situation and prevent further catastrophe. The Sichuan earthquake highlighted weaknesses in building codes and construction practices in the region. Many of the collapsed buildings, including schools, were not built to withstand such a powerful earthquake, leading to a large number of casualties. The disaster brought attention to the need for seismic safety standards and earthquake-resistant construction in China, particularly in regions prone to earthquakes. Rebuilding Sichuan was a monumental task. Even years after the earthquake, recovery efforts were still ongoing, particularly in more remote areas. There was not only physical destruction, but also psychological trauma for survivors, especially children who witnessed the deaths of family members and friends. The earthquake had a profound impact on national consciousness in China, and there have been annual memorials to remember the victims. The global community responded quickly to the earthquake. Countries such as the United States, Japan, the United Kingdom, the Netherlands, and others sent aid, medical teams, and financial contributions to help with relief efforts. The international aid played an important role in supporting the Chinese government with emergency assistance and recovery, although the majority of operations were coordinated by China itself. In the years following the earthquake, May 12 has become a day of remembrance in China, with special memorial services held for the victims. Monuments and memorials have been erected to preserve the memory of the devastation and to honor the resilience of the survivors. The 2008 Sichuan earthquake was a tragic event that altered millions of lives. It served as a powerful reminder of the dangers of earthquakes and the importance of strong building codes in earthquake-prone regions. The worldwide response to the disaster, along with the determination of the Chinese people in the aftermath, highlighted the resilience in the face of crisis. The lessons learned from this event have led to stronger safety measures, and the earthquake remains a defining moment in modern Chinese history. If you want to see more facts like this, like and subscribe.